I witnessed lethality. I met a junior airman as the sun was going down and a chill was setting on the tarmac, who, when asked what they needed, she simply looked up at me with a sly smile on her face and said, "More bombs, sir, and bigger bombs. We will happily oblige you."
The first light of dawn barely pierced the desert haze, casting long shadows over rows of M182 Abrams tanks and armored vehicles. Every turret gleamed under the pale sun, engines silent but ready. Soldiers moved with meticulous purpose, checking tracks, suspension systems, and turbine engines, ensuring no detail, no matter how small, was overlooked. Each tank barrel was polished and aligned, thermal sights calibrated to perfection, ammunition meticulously counted. One malfunction here could cost lives, and every crew knew it. Meanwhile, infantrymen dismantled and cleaned their M4 rifles, oiling every bolt carrier and verifying function repeatedly. Magazines were loaded with precision, optics zeroed, each weapon prepared for the chaos ahead. Backpacks were weighed and adjusted, packed with rations, water bladders, first aid kits, and small personal items, a mobile lifeline in hostile terrain. Paratroopers rigged their main and reserve parachutes, tested static lines, strapped on, helmets, and verified night vision goggles. The air was thick with tension, punctuated by the low hum of engines and the faint clatter of equipment. The desert morning felt suspended, a quiet anticipation stretching over every prepared weapon, every checked engine, every soldier readying themselves. In this silence, the battle had not yet begun, but the war had already taken shape in the methodical preparation of the 1st Infantry Division. By mid-morning, the desert air vibrated with motion. Massive hovercraft crept across the shallow coastline, lifting Abrams M182 tanks, armored personnel carriers, and supply trucks onto cushions of air. Chains rattled as each vehicle was secured for the crossing. On the flight decks, Blackhawks and Chinooks rotated tirelessly, lifting squads of infantry and paratroopers into the pale sky. Hundreds of boots gripped the metal floors, every soldier checked, double-checked, and braced for insertion. From the air, C-17 Globemasters loomed large, their cargo doors yawning. Paratroopers hooked static lines, tightened straps, and prepared for the drop. The wind off the sea carried salt and tension, whipping through the soldiers' hair as the first green lights signaled readiness. Each breath was measured, each movement precise. The coastline waited below, silent and foreboding, dotted with unseen threats and hidden bunkers. Amid the mechanical symphony of engines, tracks, and rotors, a chilling calm filled the air, a suspension of time before the assault. Every vehicle, every soldier, every piece of equipment was part of a meticulously orchestrated advance. The stage was set for a decisive strike that would shock the region. If you want to witness the full scale of this operation and see the next phase unfold, subscribe now and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss what happens next. By late afternoon, the coastline trembled under the coordinated advance. Abrams M182 tanks rolled onto the sand, their 120mm guns unleashing thunderous volleys against fortified bunkers carved into the mountains. Dust and debris shot into the air, reducing the horizon to a haze of war. Infantry moved alongside, rifles primed, grenades in hand, closing trenches and clearing buildings with brutal efficiency. From above, hundreds of paratroopers descended in perfect arcs, parachutes blooming against the pale sky. Each landing point synchronized with the tank's fire, forming an unstoppable wall of force. Elite night commando teams infiltrated from flanking routes, using shadows and terrain to advance unseen, their progress measured in silent inches. Naval vessels offshore unleashed missiles with pinpoint accuracy, each warhead striking bunkers and command positions within seconds of coordinates relayed from the front line. F-35 stealth jets streaked overhead, precision strikes, raining on hardened emplacements unreachable by ground forces. The assault was overwhelming. Iran's defenses, once imposing, crumbled under the relentless triad of land, sea, and air. The desert air carried smoke, the scent of scorched earth, and the distant echoes of explosions, proof of a battle fought with lethal coordination. In this synchronized chaos, the first signs of victory glimmered on the horizon, but the fight was far from over. As dusk settled, the desert transformed into a theater of calculated chaos. Abrams M182 tanks forged ahead, their 120mm rounds tearing through bunkers with a force that sent clouds of dust and rubble high into the evening sky. Each salvo reshaped the battlefield, reducing once impenetrable fortifications to smoldering ruins. Infantry and commando units advanced in tight coordination, moving through smoke and debris, clearing trenches and seizing buildings. Enemy forces retaliated with RPGs, machine guns, and mortar fire, but American formations pressed on, using tanks for cover and maintaining relentless momentum. Every engagement was measured in yards, each victory carved from fierce exchanges of fire. From above, F-35 stealth jets streaked low, delivering precision strikes on hidden strongpoints, while offshore naval missiles struck fortified positions with devastating accuracy. The combined assault obliterated the enemy's capacity to regroup. Entire sections of coastline fell under American control in less than 30 minutes. Amid the roar of artillery, the whine of engines, and the flashes of explosions, a tense quiet settled between strikes. A fleeting calm where the scale of destruction became starkly visible. The coastline was slipping from enemy hands, inch by inch, yet the battle demanded unwavering focus. Every soldier, every vehicle, every strike counted in the final push toward victory. Night had fully descended, but the desert coastline glowed with the aftermath of relentless combat. Abrams M182 tanks stood sentinel on the sand, their tracks pressed deep into the earth, engines idling yet ready. Smoke curled from demolished bunkers, and distant flares painted the battlefield in surreal shades of orange and gray. Paratroopers and commando teams moved cautiously, securing each sector, checking for hidden threats and marking cleared zones. The combined firepower, over 300 missiles from naval frigates, dozens of precision strikes by F-35 stealth jets, and hundreds of coordinated tank volleys, had reduced enemy fortifications to shattered ruins. Entire defensive lines had collapsed in under an hour, leaving Iranian forces scattered and disorganized. The first signs of strategic victory were clear. Multiple oil tankers, trapped for weeks, cautiously approached the reopened Strait of Hormuz, a lifeline restored to the global economy. Soldiers, exhausted and dust-covered, surveyed the terrain with a quiet pride. The American flag waved over the newly secured positions, a testament to meticulous planning, coordination, and sheer resilience. Yet the calm was fragile. Isolated pockets of resistance remained, and preparations were already underway for the next objective, Carr Island. The scene was a vivid contrast of destruction and achievement, a battlefield frozen in the moment between chaos and order. Every vehicle, every strike, every soldier had contributed to this victory. To see how the operation continued and witness the next stage of this unprecedented assault, subscribe now and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what unfolds next.